What pushed me to start taking music seriously? Uh, I guess just really the love of the craft, the love of the art, the love of the creation, that creativity. Um, when I first started music, right before actually my twin brother, he was really in the whole hip hop rap music, right? I wasn't as fully into it. I was more into poetry and submitting that in competitions. And so one day he pulled up a beat, um, started rapping to it, and I found a lot of similarities. Loved it. I loved the creativity of it. So um, the development of James Otis was really how do I incorporate what I already do and then just make it something even better. And that's really what made me take music seriously. Because I was like, yeah, man, we fucking good at this shit, right? And we twin brothers, like, let's get it. So the love of the game, love of the music, love of everything about it, it's what really did it for both of us. So yeah, shout out to my brother. Growing up in El Paso, it's very different from a lot of the cities that I've lived in. I've been very blessed to live in Phoenix. Now I actually live in Las Vegas. I've traveled to cities like Dallas and LA, so people different for sure. And it's really where you grow up, where you're raised, what part of El Paso. So for me, being born in like central, being Hispanic, going into Mexico during my youth, that is, really impactful. Um, how did it shape my sound? I mean, really, when I first started music, did I have the authentic sound that I have now? Definitely not. Growing as an artist is important, and kind of that naive artist might not think how important your city is or important your people are. So, really, now in my age, my development, my current path, I have a lot of love for my city, my people, and everybody in between, right? And so, growing up from El Paso, you have some strengths, you have some weaknesses, you go through ups and downs, uh, and it's what you make of it. So, being in El Paso as a twin, not a lot of twins, so you really stick out, and you meet a lot of other twins, and you kind of just have this, not bond, but like, yo, that's a twin, then that's crazy, because then you think to yourself, I'm a twin too, but I never really see it that as that. I'm more of like, that's my brother. And growing up with that team since day one, you're already in competition. And so growing up in El Paso, growing up competitive, growing up Hispanic, and then growing up aggressively, when you don't grow up in a home with too much money, you might become that person who's hungry. So what do I do to have and gain this money? How do I get that bag? So all of those put together, that's James Otis. Now, what's the hardest part about being independent? Everything. Nah, just kidding. But in all honesty, the tough part is really resources, and then I would say even resources when it comes to a physical thing. Like, do I have the resources to like push this project, push this track, push this EP, this mixtape, whatever the case is. Having those resources and then the connections that those resources carry, that's gold. So not having that as an independent artist is impactful, but it's not the end of the world. Um, Now, what also is hard as an independent artist is that motivation, and then sometimes lack of motivation when you don't see the numbers or the wins that maybe somebody else might have. That can be very defeating, and you might stop making music. But you can't do that. Someone like me, who's been in the game, like I said, 10 plus years, comparison is the theft of joy. So if I start comparing myself to all these other artists, James Otis wouldn't be here, right? I would not be making music, creating music, and still be pushing it as much as I do. So I cannot compare myself, but what I can do is invest and improve myself, and that's what it takes. when life gets heavy, uh, yeah, it can be very difficult to maintain creativity. So, what do? I clear my head. I go back to my roots. What is another hobby that you might have? For me, it's my fitness and it's my family. Double F. But if I'm ever in a spot where my creativity's not there, which does happen and it has happened, um, focusing on family, focusing on my fitness, it really is a lot about mental health and experiences too. So if I'm in a point where like I'm writing these lyrics and I don't feel like they're that great, scratch that. Like let's hit the gym, let's hit the family, like let's go on a vacation, like let's do something that'll help motivate um my thought process, and then what experiences can I go through to help put that on paper, right? Like you got to do something. um so maintaining creativity is heavy, but you also have to know yourself well enough to be like, look, let me take a quick break, let me get my mind right, and then let me go back to this. Because there's a lot of times where like I'll start a song, right? I'll write the first verse, I got my beat, yo, we killing it. First verse, we killing it. Hook, yo, fire. But then verse two comes, I don't know what you write about. I feel like I wrote everything on my first verse already. But you know what? Let me give it some time. So when it really comes to these records, these tracks that I've been releasing, like Grave, that was done a minute ago. The Block, that was done a minute ago, but I'm barely releasing them because it took time. First verse, hook, yo, send this to another artist. What you think? Let me give me some feedback, right? Send it to the team. Yo, let's touch this up. Let's edit this, right? There's a big creative process and you can't let it be defeating, especially back to that other question, right? How do you maintain that creativity? So just figure out what it is for you. For me, it's family fitness, and then just go from there. Yo, the Block, this record. Let me pull it up real quick. To me, the Block is, I think, one of the most hyped up tracks for me to drop, and I'm excited for that. Like just the art cover alone. Where's the camera? The art cover alone. Very look my 13%. Very excited. And then the lyrics, the energy. Hey, Odist coming from the block, always on another level, never really doesn't stop. Damn, yeah, we winning. Damn, yeah, we winning. Better get out the room. Like that track, that track, when we recorded it, it was great. Great energy, great everything. The room, everything. So I'm excited. And that is what I want to come to life. That is what I want you to think, to feel, to see, to envision, to everything when you listen to it. And that's why it's important. It's important to the culture because it represents, in my opinion, right, as the artist, it represents the culture, it represents the family, it represents El Paso. There's parts to it, there's a bit of storytelling in it, and it's kind of crazy some of the shit that I be saying, but it is what it is. But that's the point, and that's what makes it important for me. So why does it matter? It's because it's right now. It's not tomorrow, it's not yesterday, it's right now. So tune in because I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited. Now, if you've watched this far, thank you. Genuinely, thank you. Um, I hope that helps connect the artist to the listener. Um, there's a lot of times where I'll be posting on my stories, I'll be posting on the timeline, and I don't really post myself. And, I cannot manage my time for shit sometimes. But I try my best to really be authentic and be open to my audience. So I hope that this helps. The Block does drop June 9th, so very excited. Tune in. That's Monday coming up. So we less than a week out. It is, you know, midweek, so we almost there. If you have not already, link is in my bio. So pre-save it on Spotify for all my Spotify listeners. Shout out to you. And then there's also a link for iTunes to be purchased. So if you still purchase music, because best believe it helps the artist, do that because I appreciate you. But that link is for iTunes to be purchased. So shout out to you if you've done that too. And then if you follow me, I think you can follow artists on Apple Music. But if you follow me, you get the pop up, the notification when it drops. So let's get it. Let's run it up. Link in bio. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Caboo Beats. Listen to the drop, Odist coming from the block. Always on another level, never really doesn't stop. Now we praying for another bag, damn, yeah, we winning.